Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog.stampwithelaine.com and welcome to episode 7 of 12 in my 2017 Countdown to Christmas series. It's time to make an advent calendar as it's the 1st of November today, and I'm using the tags and trimmings bundle. This is the stamp set, and these are the Trim Your Stocking Thinlet dies, and if you purchase them together then it will save you 10%. This is clear mount. It's also available in wood mount, but I've opted only to use the dies today and not do any stamping. You also need the large number dies, and this is what we're going to be making. Now I can't get all 24 in, so you can only see some of them here. These are the 4 basic designs. I use the Merry Little Christmas designer series paper, these 3 patterns, and real red cardstock. I refer to these as the pom-pom trim and this one as the heart trim. This is the mistletoe. When I say sets, this is a set of holly leaves, which is a large and small. When I refer to the trimmings, it means that it's the top, the heel and the toe for the stocking. And these are actually for the buttons, but I've used them as berries for this project. So there's a large and small of those. You need the mini tinsel trim. This comes in a combo pack with silver and red. The 1/8 inch sheer ribbon. That's 3.2mm width ribbon and a 1/8 inch handheld hole punch. I'm just going to give you some tips and tricks on how I cut up my stockings and things. Now all the cutting guide will be on my blog, so don't worry about taking any notes. Take a sheet of 12 by 12 DSP, cut it in half so it measures 6 by 12. In centimetres that will be 15.2 by 30.5, and then you cut those into quarters. You can get 2 stockings out of 1 sheet of 6 by 6. It's a tight fit, so I would suggest that you have the edge of the die right on the edge of the paper. I have a piece here where I've cut the 2 stockings, and you can see what a tight fit it is. Basically, out of a 3/4 sheet of 12 by 12 DSP, you will get 6 stockings. So cut out 6 stockings from the black and old olive checkerboard, black and white checkerboard, and the snowflake DSP, and also from the real red cardstock. To cut the trimmings for this snowflake stocking, it's the reverse of the black and white checkerboard DSP. From your real red cardstock, cut the A4 sheet in half, and then you can get 2 stockings out of each side. And then with the leftover bits here, cut your pom-pom trim, your hearts and the berries. You'll also need 6 sets of the trim, the top, heel and toe in real red, and 12 of the pillow box trim, 4 of the pom-pom trim, 9 of the joined hearts trim, 6 each of the large and small berries, 3 stitched stars, and 6 stitched hearts. To cut the pillow box backs, that goes on the back of the stocking, you need to take your A4 sheet and cut it in half this way, and then you can cut your pillow box backs, and you can normally get 4 out of each A4 sheet. And then with the leftovers you can then cut your holly leaves. So I'll call that a pair, which comprises of little and large, and you need 6 sets of those. You also need to cut 6 pairs of mistletoes, so that will be 12 mistletoe leaves altogether. Also need to cut 6 sets of trimmings in old olive. That will be the top, the toe and the heel, 6 of the pom-pom trim. You need glimmer paper. This is Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper to cut out 6 snowflakes and 3 stitched hearts. You need champagne foiled paper. Now here's a tip: only cut what you can that fits the number of dies you've got, because the paper, the foiled paper, will take on any marks you have on your cutting plate. So it's best just to only cut it to the size of the die. So I've cut strips for the numbers 1. I laid out all the numbers on a small sheet and then cut them all out at the same time with one pass through the big shot. You'll need 12 of the number 1s, 8 of the number 2s, 3 of the number 3s, and 3 of the number 4s, and 2 each of the 0, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 is 6 upside down. You also need 6 champagne foil bells, 12 lengths of the silver tinsel and 12 of the red tinsel, and I alternated the red and the silver. So for instance, if I started with Old Olive checkerboard, the snowflake, the black and white checkerboard, and the real red, so then I alternated and made it silver red all the way until number 24. Now I'm not going to show you how each and every one was assembled, but I will do the last 2, and this one is with DSP. So I've got all the pieces here: my pillow box, the toe, heel and top trimming, my numbers, the berries, my pair of leaves, and the pom-pom trim. It's more pronounced on this side, so use your nail, the tip of your nail, and just reinforce that score line first. And then once that's done, it'll be easier to then reinforce the score line the way it's supposed to go. What is also your best friend are these firm adhesive strips, and you'll need glue dots and fast fuse. Now I prefer to use the fast fuse because when you use Tombow glue, wet adhesive, you know, you're liable to get all your fingers sticky. So I'm going to put the foam adhesive strips on my numbers first, and you can actually bend it round corners and things. And it's best to adhere it while it's still flat before you've assembled it. And I've got a silicone mat underneath. And the stitch side always points inwards, so you know the larger one is for the toe. Just check nothing's showing on the other side, then you'll know that you've got it on correctly. Now once you've assembled that, you want to curl your cardstock, and I just run the bone folder over it this way. I leave it on the desk, pull the paper away from under the bone folder to give it a slight curl. Again, reinforce the folds, so I like to do it toward me because the score line is more pronounced on this side. So once you've established that, you can then bend it back to the right side. Same with the pillow box arcs. Bend it towards you and then away from you. bend it towards you and then away from you. Apply double-sided tape or tear and tape, and one on the end here. A tab here on the end will just stop the things that you have inside from falling out. When it's time to assemble the box, place it with the stocking on the left side and your pillow box back on the right side, and you want to attach this side to your stocking first. And there is a reason why. It's because you need to punch a hole in the back to put your loop on for hanging the stocking. So line that up together, the tip of the stocking at the top, along that score line, then reinforce it. Okay, marry those two up, take off the tab, line up the top of the box like so, take off the strip, backing strip here, tuck it in, and then tuck in the base of the box, and then it's not quite stuck in yet. You can see it's still, there's a gap. So take your bone folder and just press that to the front of the box to secure it down, and then there's no gapping. I forgot to do something, and that was to punch 2 holes in the back of the box. So there's 2 holes, just an 1/8 of an inch apart, and I should have done this before I sealed the box. Silly me. Now it's going to be harder to get it through. Take your tape or run a thin line of glue along the edge of the stocking. I'm just going to use fast fuse, or you can run a thin line of glue along that edge of the stocking, but I'm not going to. Because I don't want to get all messy. So that's the pom-pom trim. Then the glue dots. So that's the thin end at the top, thicker end at the bottom, and I'm going to use my berry as a base, the larger of the 2 berries. Take the larger leaf, pop that on, take my bell, glue dots on the back, pop that on too, glue dot on the smaller berry and pop that on top. And last of all, the bow which I prepared earlier. This is the white sheer ribbon. Pop that on top. More glue dots. take off the backing strip from your foam adhesive strip and then leave enough room for both the numbers, so you need to stagger it. So let's put that one there. Let's recap on this stocking. The curl you cut in front, you've reinforced the score lines. Glue your trimmings on, so I'll do that off camera and I'll be back. Right, I've glued that, so now we want to put our mistletoe on. So about there. And I might need to snip a bit off. Take my heart and pop a glue dot on the back. I'm putting 3 on so that it will stay secure. And curl that heart round a little bit as well. Then pop it onto my stocking top. Okay. Now, I've already reinforced these, put my sticky strip on, so I need to take that bit off. Now the stocking is facing me. I want to glue this side to the top, marry it up. Make sure it's in line. Reinforce it all the way down. Now I know that I need to punch 2 holes there. So punch the hole first. This is an 1/8 of an inch circle punch. Take your tinsel and put it through the 2 holes. Like so. Pull it through so that your 2 ends are even. Loop it round your finger and tie a knot. Make sure you've got the 2 ends. Then work don't pull the knot tight yet, just work the knot down to the end, but not too far down, so you've got something to hold on to. Don't put any pressure on this paper hole here, because you might tear it, and then just pull it tight from here. Because the tinsel is coarse and rough, it will grip quite easily. And then just trim off the ends. Pull the loop back up. Remove the backing strip from here and here. Marry it up with the front of the box. Okay. Then pop this inside. Put the base in like so. Right? Then your bone folder, just attach that tab to the stocking front. And then close the notched bit first, and then the back. Last thing to do, front I mean, last thing to do is your letters. So take the backing strip off the foam adhesive strip. Just make sure that the positioning of the letters, numbers is okay. And pop it on. So that's number 23 and 24 completed. I'll try and upload a picture of it in all its entirety. But I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and I'd love it if you give me a thumbs up, subscribe or share on Facebook, and I'd be ever so grateful if you do. If you're watching from YouTube, you'll find the list of supplies I use below this video in the Show More section with direct links to my online store. They'll also be listed on my blog at blog.stampwithelaine.com. You can find me on Facebook, Pinterest or Instagram. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye.